بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم. اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Alhamdulillah, we have tawfiq to resume our study of Al-Fiqh al-Istidlali. I think our last session was towards end of June. So July, August and September, almost 3 months we had break. So now we resume. Just as a reminder, our discussion was about how Hilal can be established at the beginning of the month of Ramadan, end of month of Ramadan. And one of the things that we started is Shahadatu Adlain. This is what we started before we stopped. So we said that according to mashhur of ulama, if two just imami be a witness, then would be Shahadatu Adlain. Even maybe there is no need to be imami, but at least there must be adil. Would be enough. Some people said no, we need 50 people to be a witness when there is no obstacle. For example, if there is cloud, then 2 people would be enough. But if there is no cloud, why other people don't claim that they have seen? When there is cloud, maybe 2 people within a place that they managed to see it, maybe cloud was not there for a short period of time, but they say in an ordinary situation there must be 50. Anyway, we discussed these things, and then we said that there are many hadiths that say 2 witnesses would be enough. For example, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam quoted Amir al-Mu'mineen, وَلَا تَجُوزُ إِلَّا شَهَادَةُ رَجُلَيْنَ عَدْلَيْنِ about Hilal. So it means that it is enough. But then we said لَكِنَّهَا مُعَارَضَةٌ بِالرِّوَايَاتٍ عِدَّةٍ. There are but some hadiths that conflict. So these hadiths are the ones that say 2 adl are not enough as bayyana. Okay? We studied Sahihatu Abi Ayyub al-Khazzaz. We studied Muwassaqatu Abdullah ibn Bukair. We reached number 3 on page 470. Okay, so we continue with this. ثالثا رواية حبيب الخزاعي قال أبو عبد الله عليه السلام لا تجوز الشهادة في رؤية الهلال دون 50 رجلا عدد القسامة. About seeing the crescent, testimony of any number lower than 50 men, which is the number of Qusama, would not be accepted. وَإِنَّمَا تَجُوزُ شَهَادَةُ رَجُلَيْنِ إِذَا كَانَ مِنْ خَارِجِ الْمِصْرِ وَكَانَ بِالْمِصْرِ عِلَّةٌ فأخبر أنهما رأياه وأخبر عن قوم صاموا للرؤية وأفطروا للرؤية. The only time testimony of two men would be sufficient and would be accepted is when they come from outside city. Misr here means city. When they come from outside city, and inside city there is illah, there is a problem. For example, there is cloud, they cannot see. Maybe there is a smoke, for example. For some reason they cannot see. They come from outside, so they had a special, angle to look. Because if they are in the same city and there is no problem, everyone should be able to see. So, kana bil misr illatun. In the city there is a problem, and these two people who come from outside, akhbara, they inform that they have seen annahuma ra'ayahu, ra'ayal hilal. They say we have seen the hilal. Also they say that not only us, there was a group of people, and qawman samu lirru'ya wa aftaru lirru'ya. The people that they were fasting for seeing and stopping for seeing, they also, like us, they saw. So people who were careful about sighting, they also were like us. Al-jawab qad ittadaha mimma sabaq. From what we have said before, the answer is clear, similar to what we have said about previous hadith. Because in the previous hadith it was saying that people would not accept if there is no cloud, and two people say, we said, suppose there is no amara or bayyana against them. You are talking about cases that there is bayyana, that or amara against these two. No one has seen, they say we have seen. But suppose there is a possibility that Orf would say it's possible that we didn't see, but you were on the hill or you were somewhere you could see. Anyway, but there is another problem. In addition to what we said about the last two hadiths, مضافا إلى ضعف سندها بالخزاعي. There is weakness in the chain of narrators. One is Khuzai, Habib al-Khuzai. Another person which occurs in the chain is Ismail ibn Marrar. There is no way to verify him unless if you are one of those people who say that Rajal, the narrators who are mentioned in Tafsir Ali ibn Ibrahim al-Qummi, are reliable unless there is proof against them. Yeah, one of the tawthiqat amma, we have tawthiqat khasse, tawthiqat amma. Tawthiqat khasse means about a specific person. Someone has praised this person, verified this person. Tawthiq amma means in a general way, like those who are in Kamil al-Ziyarat by Ibn Qulaway. Because Ibn Qulaway was a reliable person, and he said that he would only narrate Sahih hadith, which is Sahih. If your mabna is that Tafsir Ali ibn Ibrahim Qumi is like Kamil al-Ziyarat by Ibn Qulaway, then whoever is there would accept. Of course, some ulama say, means if we don't have proof against them, if it is established for you that one of them is not reliable, then you leave it, but otherwise you go back to the general tawthiq. So this hadith has problem with sanad. One problem is Khuzai, another problem is Ismail ibn Marrar. But Ismail ibn Marrar, maybe some people would accept. The fourth hadith, Riwayatu Abil Abbas and Abi Abdullah alayhi salam, as-sawmu lil-ru'yah wal-fitru lil-ru'yah. Yani you start fasting when you see the moon, the crescent. You stop when you see the moon in the end of the month. وَلَيْسَ الرُّؤْيَةُ أَنْ يَرَاهُ وَاحِدٌ وَلَا إِثْنَانٌ وَلَا اثْنَانٌ وَلَا خَمْسُونَ. This hadith says ru'ya is not that one or two or even 50 people see. This hadith even doesn't accept 50. Al-Jawab بعد ضعفها بالقاسم ibn Urwa. First of all, this hadith is weak because in the chain of this hadith we have Qasim ibn Urwa. This person is not verified. Number two, in addition to this problem, بأن المقصود أن مجرد دعوى 50 الرؤيا لا يكفي ما لم تثبت عدالتهم واحتمل تواطؤهم على الكذب أو على الكذب. If we say this hadith is okay, sanad is accepted, we compromise about the problem, then we need to interpret it in this way, that shahadatu 1 or 2 or 50 who are not adil is not accepted. Because if they are adil, how can you say 50 adil say and you don't accept? So just the fact that mujarrad da'wa 50 ar-ru'yata means 50 people just claim that they have seen is not sufficient, la yakfi, as long as their justice is not proved, their righteousness. Wahtumila, and there is a possibility that maybe 50 people have collaborated with each other to say lie, tawatu. So they have made a joint decision to say lie. If there is such a possibility, because someone might say 50 people, can be trusted. So we should consider the worst scenario. هذا التوجيه أو نحوه لا بد من. He says we don't have any other choice. We have to make a new interpretation, a kind of tawjih, a kind of rationalization. Why? Because if we want to say that 50 adil would not be accepted, this is not something that anyone can commit to. فإن ظاهرها يعني ظاهر هذه الرواية مرفوض جزما, definitely is not accepted. Because if it was about adil, why 50? If it is not about adil, no one said you accept shahada of غير adil. ومن هذا كله يتضح أن شهادة عدلين حجة. From all discussion that we had last session and today, we understand that witness or testimony of two adil is hujjah, is a proof, but there is a condition. شريطة ألا تكون هناك أمارة نوعية مورثة للإطمئنان بالخلاف. But the condition is that there must be no conflicting evidence. There must be no أمارة نوعية مورثة. There must be no evidence, no amara, which for not for one person, but for common people in general would lead to itminan. If there is itminan bil khilaf. For example, as I said, in the whole city, the sky is clear. Two people say, we have seen, but everyone says, we didn't see. So this is very strong evidence against bayyana, against those two. But if there is no such a amara, then no problem. Then we have some hadiths that are on the other side of the spectrum. These hadiths that we just studied, they say shahadatu adlain is not enough. Even rajulain adlain is not enough. We answered. On the other side of a spectrum, we have hadith which suggests that one adil is enough, or doesn't need to be rajul. So rajulain adilain, they say rajul is not necessary, or two adil is not necessary. ثم إنه توجد بعض الروايات توحي means suggests, as a hint, بكفاية الشهادة الواحد أو شهادة المرأة. وهي, now we mentioned some of those hadiths. صحيحة محمد بن قيس عن أبي جعفر عليه السلام. صحيح from باغ عليه السلام قال أمير المؤمنين عليه السلام إذا رأيتم الهلال فأفطروا. When you see halal yourself, you are sure, break your fast. Month of Shawwal has come. أو شهد عليه عدل من المسلمين, or a just person from Muslimin has given testimony. They say, look, it says adlun, doesn't say odulun, doesn't say adlain. بدعوى صدق العدل على الواحد. So adl means واحد, one. So what is the answer? We say here the focus of Amirul Mu'mineen was not on the number and this technical issue of how many people are needed to bear witness. Means that when it is established through the opinion of udul, but this is mutlaq and we cannot use this mutlaq against specific ones. والجواب أنها بمثابة المطلق. So mutlaq is not as strong as muqayyad. Muqayyad is stronger than mutlaq, therefore mutlaq cannot change the meaning of a specific one. Specific ones can modify the meaning of mutlaq. Always khas is taken prior to and mutlaq, muqayyad prior to mutlaq. فلا بد من تقييدها, يعني تقييد صحيحة. Another hadith, صحيحة يونس بن يعقوب. So from sanad perspective, like previous hadith, it's okay. عن أبي عبد الله عليه السلام قال رسول الله الشهور شهر كذا, means sometimes month is complete. Then Rasulullah put two hands like this and started opening 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 3 times. So become 30. Another time he didn't open one of them. قبض الإبهام وضمها. So ibham, one he didn't open. So it becomes 29. Sometimes 30, sometimes 29. This is what Imam Sadiq said about Rasulullah. Then قال غلام له وهو معتب. Imam Kazim alayhi salam had a ghulam, had a kind of servant who was with him. His name was Mu'attab. He said, إني قد رأيت الهلال. I have sighted the crescent. Imam told him, according to this, فَذْهَبْ فَأَعْلِمْهُ. Go and inform them. They say, look, when Imam says to this person, Mu'attab, go and inform, it means that it is reliable, otherwise it's useless to go. When Imam says go, means that they should act upon it, otherwise useless. إن الأمر بالذهاب والإعلام, because Imam said فَذْهَبْ فَأَعْلِمْهُم, go and inform them. This command for going and informing them يدل على حجية شهادة الواحد. This shows that شهادة الواحد is enough, one person. But we say no, who said one is enough? Imam said go and inform them. Maybe there is another person also who has seen, then 1 + 1 becomes 2. Imam didn't say they should accept, said you have to inform them because you have seen. Maybe other people also have seen. إن الأمر بالذهاب والإعلام يدل على حجية شهادة الواحد. They argue like this. والجواب أن الأمر بالذهاب شخص للشهادة لا يدل على حجية الشاهد بانفراده. When we say to someone, go and bear witness, it doesn't mean that witness can be one person. Testimony of one person is enough. It doesn't mean that. The next hadith, صحيحة داوود بن الحصين عن أبي عبد الله عليه السلام لا تجوز شهادة النساء في الفطر إلا شهادة الرجلين عدلين ولا بأس بالصوم بشهادة النساء ولو امرأة واحدة. According to this Sahih, there is no need to have there is no need to have two Rajul Adil when it comes to beginning of the month. It says for the end of the month must be two men who are Adil. But for starting fasting, one lady is enough. Even doesn't need to be two ladies. الجواب أنها لا تدل على وجوب الصوم بشهادة المرأة الواحدة. No, this doesn't mean that it is wajib to fast when one lady bears witness. Maybe it means that it's Yawm al-Shak, for example, you can fast, but with the niyyah of Sha'ban, for example. It doesn't say you must fast. Why? Because if we say this one lady saying has sighted the moon for beginning is accepted, this is against the riwayat which says there must be rajulayn adlayn. على أن مضمونها مخالف لجميع الروايات فهو مخالف للسنة القطعية. What is decisively known about Sunnah is that one testimony of one lady is not enough in such cases. Like Hilal. Number 4, ما نقله في المعتبر عن كتب العامة أن ليلة الشك. There's a hadith in non-Shia sources that there was a Laylatul Shak, means either it was the ending of previous month or beginning of Ramadan. Yeah, Laylatul Shak. So جاء أعرابي, a Bedouin came and said, I have seen the crescent, so month of Ramadan has started. When did he come? In the morning, for example. So the night before was Laylatul Shak. People thought, okay, it's still not proved. We continue eating. So they say, Amar al-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam munadiyan yunadi. The Prophet asked someone to make this call. Man lam ya'kul falyasum. If someone has not eaten yet, should fast. وَمَنْ أَكَلَ فَلْيُمْسِكْ. And who has eaten, because it is the month of Ramadan, must stop eating and drinking, even though he has to do qadha later, for example. Sheikh Irwani says, وَهُوَ كَمَا تَرَى. As you see, this hadith is not acceptable. Sanad is not known to be reliable. In the books that, we don't know their sanad, is fitting into our criteria. Plus, Ja Arabiyun, someone unknown, one person. No one accepts shahada of one person. Especially, it seems that this person was not known, it was a Bedouin. ثم إن هنا ثلاث قضايا لا بد من بحث. Okay, after discussing the issue of ثبوت الرؤيا, we talked about Hilal, Ru'yatul Hilal by Adlain, last session and this session, and other methods before. Now the question is, number one, هل يعتبر كون الشهادة بالرؤيا أو يكفي العلم الحاصل من أي سبب غير الرؤيا? Is it a condition that the one who bears witness must make this testimony based on sighting, or from any way he has become convinced it's enough to bear witness? Because this is a very important issue in the discussion about shahada. Bayyina, we say it must be shahada and hissen, not an hadsen. Yeah, you must be seeing something and then you bear witness. بِمِثْلِ هَذَا إِشْهَدْ, in one of the hadiths, is pointing towards a sun. When you see sun, you can then say, I have seen sun. You can say, sun was there. It must be very clear, something you see, not something that with argument and reasoning you come to the conclusion. Okay, so number one, هل يعتبر كون الشهادة بالرؤية أو يكفي العلم الحاصل من أي سبب غير الرؤية? Is it a requirement that testimony should be based on seeing, or if knowledge is there, certainty is there, from any way other than ru'ya is also enough? Number two, هل يعتبر كون الرؤية بالعين المجردة أو تكفي العين المسلحة? Does ru'ya have to be with a naked eye, or even with equipped eye is fine? With telescope, for example, if someone sees, is it enough, or must be with naked eyes? Number three, هل تكفي شهادة الفلكيين? Those who are expert in astronomy, if they bear witness بالولادة, that the new moon, new crescent is born, is it enough? So these are three questions that we discuss one by one. أما القضية الأولى, about shahada should be with ru'ya, or it's okay to be from any way. فقد يستدل على اعتبار الرؤية بوجهين. There are two ways to argue that ru'ya is a condition, it's required. Number one, إن الشهادة هي من الشهود بمعنى الحضور. Shahida means to be present. If someone is present, then can offer testimony. When you don't see, or you don't touch, you don't smell, there is no sense here working. So how can you say I was present? Shahidtu. إن الشهادة هي من الشهود بمعنى الحضور فلا تصدق لا تصدق شهادة إذا لم تستند إلى الحس. It's a reasoning. It's not accepted. Sheikh Irwani says this argument can be questioned. وفيه أن الاشتقاق المذكور لا يستلزم الاختصاص بالمحسوس. Yes, shahada comes from shahida. Shahida means huzur. But this doesn't mean that shahada has to be restricted to mahsus, what is perceived by five senses. وإلا فهل إطلاق الشهادة على الشهادة بالعدالة أو الأعلمية أو غيرهما من غير المحسوسات مجازي. You know, sometimes people make testimony, they offer their witnesses about things which are not physical or material. For example, two people say this person is adil. You can say salat behind him. Or people say this marja is alam. A'lamiyya or adala cannot be seen or touched or smelled. So Therefore, shahada is not limited to what is physical. وبالتالي تكون مرفوضة. Therefore, it is marfud. It is rejected, this first argument. Although ulama say that shahada must be an hissin or kahissin. Either it is hissi or kahissin. Like, for example, idala and a'lamiyya must be something that with contact, etc. It's like you have seen adala, although you don't see adala. And also, for example, about tawthiqat of ulama al-rijal who were not in the time of narrators, but they were very close. They said this is also close to themselves being perceiving it. So there is some area which is attached and as extension. Number 2, al-riwayatul khassa. We have a specific hadith. So number 1, about using root, shahada is from the root shuhud. Number 2, we have a specific hadith, كصحيحة منصور بن حازم عن أبي عبد الله عليه السلام صم لرؤية الهلال وأفطر لرؤيته فإن شهد عندك شاهدان مرضيان بأنهما رأياه يعني رأي الهلال فاقضي. If 2 witnesses that are acceptable, are pleasing, is their iman adala is accepted. If 2 reliable, acceptable witnesses say that they have seen it, they have seen hilal, faqdi, let their testimony carry on, accept it. But you see, in shahida indaka shahidan mardiyan ba'annahuma ra'ayah, these 2 shahid marzi must say that we have seen it, not we are sure without seeing. حيث قيد شهادة الشاهدين بأنهما رأيا, has restricted, has made as a condition that shahada of 2 witnesses must be by seeing. But Sheikh Irwani says احتمال كون الغيد غالبيا لا احترازيا. Maybe when it says بأنهما رأيا is not suggested as exclusiveness. It means most of the time they say we have seen. Maybe sometimes they say no, from calculations we have become sure. فإن الشهادة غالبا تكون بالرؤية. So most of the time is by seeing. ومعه تعود الروايات مجملة. So if we say this is not احترازي, then it becomes مجمل, means it's not clear what it means. ولعل الأولى الاستدلال بالقصور في المقتضي. Maybe it's better that we say muqtazi is not strong enough in this hadith. Why? What does it mean muqtazi is not enough? فإنما دل على حجية شهادة العدلين ناظر إلى العدلين في مقابل الواحد. We say, what was the point? مقام bayan is very important in al-Mawsul. We discuss in the Muqaddamat Hikmat. What the speaker wants to say. Maybe what indicates validity of testimony of 2 adil, ناظر إلى العدلين في مقابل. Maybe the focus was on 2 and not 1. But to say shahadatu adlain, that they have seen that part was not the main focus of the speaker. لا نظر له إلى كون الشهادة بالرؤية أو بغيرها. على الأقل we can say لا جزم بعدم الفرق ليتمثل. We are not sure that there is no difference. عدم الفرق is not majzum, we don't know that there is no difference. وبكلمة أخرى. Let us put it in another way. In other words, قد يدعى أن شرط التمسك بالإطلاق أحد أمرين. Sometimes they claim that condition for appealing and arguing based on إطلاق are two conditions. Number one, أن تكون إرادة المقيد بخصوصه قبيحة لو كان هو المراد واقعا. To mean what is modified, what is limited, if it was meant by the speaker, what is muqayyad in this setting would be qabih, not acceptable. Okay? Otherwise, we cannot say itlaq is established. Itlaq means there is no taqeed, no qaid, no restriction, no modification. When you can say itlaq is meant, because itlaq, unlike doesn't have anything in what was said. Yeah, there is no adat al-lafzi. Itlaq is through muqaddamat al-hikmah. Umum is through adat like kol, jami, jam' muhalla bi alif wal lam nun fi siyaq an-nakara. They are linguistic things that indicate umum. But itlaq is understandable from muqaddamat al-hikmah. We say there are few things that are muqaddamat al-hikmah. There must be possibility of taqyid. Mutakallim should be fi bisadad al-bayan, and still has not made any qaid. So it was possible to say qaid, and he was in context of bayan, maqam al-bayan, still he didn't make any qaid. So we say then he didn't mean muqayyad. It's a rational argument. Okay? So itlaq can be accepted provided that there are two conditions. One, أن تكون إرادة المقيد بخصوصه قبيحة. We are in such a situation that to say he meant muqayyad is very ugly. Why? Because he didn't mention anything. Number two, al-jaz b'adam al-farq. To say that we know that there is no farq. Or there was farq could be itself a reason for not mentioning quyud. But fil maqam, in our context, la qubha lo qala al-mutakallim. If mutakallim speaks in this way, إن مرادي الشهادة بالرؤية بخصوصها. I meant shahada by seeing only. What's the problem if he meant this? It's not qabih. فانظر إلى صحيحة حماد عن أبي عبد الله عليه السلام قال أمير المؤمنين عليه السلام لا تجوز شهادة النساء. We had this hadith before. في الهلال ولا تجوز إلا شهادة رجلين عادلين. And he says, I meant shahadat hissi. What is the problem? It's not qabih. وغيرها. So فانظر إلى صحيحة حماد وغيرها تجد means أن تنظر تجد. Yeah. تجد صدق ما ذكرنا. You find the truth of what we say. كما أنه لا جزم بعدم الفرق. The second condition also there is problem, because we said there are two conditions. Number one, أن تكون إرادة المقيد بخصوصه قبيحة لو كان هو المراد واقع. Number two, الجزم بعدم الفرق. So here it says كما أنه لا جزم بعدم الفرق. We don't have certainty that there is no difference between شهادة بالرؤية وشهادة بغير الرؤية. الفرق محتمل. Actually, it's possible that there is فرق. Who can say, I am sure there is no difference between shahada bil ruya or shahada through other ways. خب أما القضية الثانية. قضية الثانية is about equipped. We said there are three قضية. الأولى هل يعتبر كون الشهادة بالرؤية أو يكفي العلم الحاصل من أي سبب غير الرؤية. This we discussed, alhamdulillah. We have two more قضية. Number two, هل يعتبر كون الرؤية بالعين المجردة أو تكفي العين المسلة? Does it need to be with a naked eye only, or can be with equipped eye? This is very important. For example, now some of Maraja don't accept seeing with the equipped eye. Some accept. So sometimes the difference in declaration of it is because of this. It's not only because of horizons. Even in the same city, they can have different opinions based on this. This can be one of the factors. Okay, this I think we leave it inshallah for the next session, and inshallah maybe this one and the third qadiyya inshallah we can discuss it bi'iznillah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma salli.